Hello, my beautiful friends. I'm back in my office. Yay! So, I promised a runestone reading today, and then I got totally busy with work, and I'm like, I'm not getting through this day without reading runes for y'all. So, today I was like thinking about, I've been making sure that over my lunch break, that I actually go out and sit and meditate for a little bit, and sort of ground myself, to make sure that my energy stays good. And I have this great app that that AARP recommended. It's a bird app. I don't know anything about birds, I have to say. I don't know anything about arts and crafts and birds. People are like, "Oh, you know so much stuff." I don't know squat about birds. I like to listen to them. That's what I know about them. So I put my bird app on, and then it like records all the birds in the area, and it's just cool because I can't always really see them. I have really bad eyesight, so I can't always see the birds unless they're like flying right in front of me. I've been enjoying that. But one of the things I was thinking about today are the negative people in our life, right? Sometimes we work with negative people. Sometimes we live with negative people. Sometimes there's just this negative energy around us that kind of like sucks us in and then brings down our energy. And a lot of the times, either those people don't know, some people know that they have bad energy. This isn't about them. Some people don't realize that their bad energy is a Debbie Downer for everybody. If you watch SNL, right? Like it's a Debbie Downer for everybody around them, and they're totally unaware that they are that person, right? So there's that. But then I think we often confuse critical people with negative people. When I'm putting together a team to do something for work example, I'll say, oh, I want this person and that person to be on, and some people will be like, oh, no, don't ask that person. That person's such a pain in the butt. And I'm like, I want that person. I want the pain in the butt because that person is going to think of all the things that I'm not going to think of because I am a visionary. I'm always looking at the horizon. I am always looking far ahead. And in my opinion, we could do everything. You could give me 20 minutes and a thing of duct tape and we can get it done, right? You want those people who are more grounded, who live in reality to bring you down. And I always laugh because my work wife, the person I call my work wife, his personality is totally opposite to mine. We call him the cuddly cactus, and I'm the tree hugging, hippie, person, right? We work well together because we sort of have that yin and yang, and I'll be like, oh, we could do that. That's it. And he'll be like, BRG, get your head out of your ass. We can't do that. We have to think about this. And it's good to have that passionate person driving the bus, but it's also good to have that person on the bus who's like, whoa, check your speedometer. Let's take this in for an oil change. You need both people. You need both kinds of people. So I was thinking about that today and just kind of the energy that you surround yourself. Like you can't really help the energy of your family necessarily. It can't, you can't necessarily impact how people treat you at work, but you can impact how you treat people, right? So that's what I was thinking about today. I did a runestone reading with my friend, came over for dinner, and we did a runestone reading to kind of plan out our summer. It was a nice, positive read, with a cautionary tale in it about making sure that you don't let other people derail your plans. I'm much more of a mover and a shaker, and she always tells me I'm peoply. That's true. Interesting though, like I am peoply, but I'm also a bit of an introvert. When I'm home, and I'm not doing public things. I like to be in my space with my family, and I really have blinders to what goes on in the world because I don't know. If it weren't for my kid liking movies, I probably wouldn't watch all the movies that I watch. All right, so let's pull a runestone, shall we? All right, so just a general Celtic cross reading. What should we all consider? This may not resonate for you. Don't force it to fit. May not resonate for me either, but we'll see. What should we focus on, Spirit? All right, we have Tiwaz, which is our present energy. What got us here is Manas, which is the Humanity Stone. I've seen that a few times this week. What we can't control is chance or luck. It's Perthrow. What we can control is our gifts. Every single reading I've been doing, I've been pulling that Kibo stone. Thank you, Spirit. And what's the outcome? Remember, runestones don't predict the future. Nothing predicts the future. Jira. Balance and equity. So what does this all mean? I don't know. I am going to tell you what the stones mean, but I am going to then think about it. Well, I'll pull a card and think about it all together. So our present energy is Tiwaz. And I am not going to make you watch me flip through my book, so I'll be right back. So for those new to the channel, this is my book. I've done so much research on runes. Remember that runes themselves weren't created for divination. They were created as an alphabet and a way to communicate. We, in the modern era, 500 or so years, 400 years, use runestones for divination. You can use anything for divination. You can use pudding if you want to, because it's really all about intention, right? So Tiwaz, or Tyr, is masculinity, justice, logic, leadership, battle, bond, justice, sacrifice. Justice is a balance and requires wisdom. Sacrifice, or selfishness, selflessness. There are things more important than ourselves. Sacrifice ourselves for others. Honor, righteousness, fairness, loyalty, higher rationality, no fairness without empathy. Spiritual warrior, Tyr. Some opposition may be coming. Honor, bravery, and courage. Self-discipline. Stand up for the weak. Success in business, or success in a legal threat. It's not inverted, so we don't have to worry about that. But that would mean injustice or imbalance. So that's the energy we're in right now. Like really seeking truth, really wanting balance, really being logical about truth, not being impassioned, right? Some people, you see this on social media all the time. People like go nutso banana pants over some kind of issue, and it's all emotionally driven, and they're not using logic. And a great example of that is actually the interview with Elon Musk and the BBC, right? Like the reporter is all emotional, and hate speech has gone up on Twitter, and all Elon Musk said is, show me some proof of that. If you say that's true, and you say that, oh well, I don't actually follow that thread. Well, you said you did, so give me some proof. And I think every English professor on the planet is doing that right now. And the semester papers, Shakespeare is one of my assignments for Shakespeare is prove he wrote the plays. P.S. He can't prove it. It's actually more evidence that he didn't than that he did, other than he signed him, right? Could have been the janitor. You have no idea. So evidence, right? So logical, even keeled, not letting emotion drive, decisions that require logic. If you ask me about loving my children, obviously, that's getting an emotional response. But if we're talking about things that require logical, reasonable discussion, that's kind of the energy we're in now. Logic. So what got us here? Well, we are looking at humanity. I've been looking at humanity the last few days. Menas literally translates to humanity, individuality, friendship, society, cooperation, and help, improve cognition, humankind, essence of all humanity, take the time to make decisions, be someone objective, help, cooperate, be a friend, positive relationship with others, positive relationship with the divine. So what got us here, we want the very best for humanity. We want the very best for everybody, but we have to be logical about that. We can't just spout off with our emotions. Things that we can't control luck, right? We can't control chance. And just as a reminder, this stone is the stone that we know the very least about. So that's what we think, that's what they've assigned this meaning to. But none of the stones, like I say, were meant for divination. But Perthrow translates to dice cup. Fate, chance, mystery, destiny, secrets, luck, the unknown, chance to play or gamble, moment of pause, not meant to know the answer. We don't know much about the stone. So, if we think about it, if you're trying to be logical, you're trying to approach something with reasons, there are things in the mix that you may not know. There may be information that you don't know. And I often think about that, when you're, when we look at leaders in business, right? like you may not know everything that's going on. You know your level. And we look back to systems that really worked well, like the Underground Railroad. You only knew what you needed to know for your station of the Underground Railroad, because the whole thing was at risk if every person knew what was going on. Because if you only knew your part and you got caught, you couldn't, you couldn't communicate the rest of the trail. So, there's sometimes, like with our military, like one of the reasons like we don't know everything is because there are some things we just aren't supposed to know, right? There's some information that needs to, for safety reasons, be secret. So you can still be a just and upright person with the information you do have, right? And things that you don't know about, or things that are left up to fate or chance, you don't have control over that, right? We do have control over our gifts, though, right? I've gotten Gibo in every reading I've done this week so far. It's my favorite stone if you've been following along in the book, ladies and gents and fairy folk. Gibo means gift, balance, exchange, partnership, relationship, generosity, gift, giving and taking, trading, pledging. The gift of freedom is the best gift. Amen. Be generous, accept generosity, equal partnership, and balance. And there's no inverse. And Gibo, there aren't any negative stones in this reading, but Gibo outweighs negative stones if it's in a reading. But you can control your gifts, right? You can recognize that you have them, and then you can use them for the benefit of humanity. If you have a lot of money, that would not be me, but if you have a lot of money, you can use it for good. If you have, a gift of art, you can bring art to people, and that brings joy. If you're an amazing engineer, you can use that gift. You can use your gifts to bring about goodness in the world, and you should if you can. And then the outcome, and again, we don't predict the future because we aren't soothsayers, right? The pages in here stick together and it's impossible to get through. Plus, I have a million things stuffed in here because that's how I ride. It's Jira, which means year. I just have to find the page. So I'm going to need two hands, so I'll be right back. So Jira means year, or the number 12. Cycles, completion, changes, harvest, reaping rewards, reap what you sow, good or bad. The good or bad reward that you deserve. Coming into something better, new beginning, justice, fertile season, prosperity, success, act with wisdom, store energy for the winter of life, completion of a cycle, all 4 seasons, don't expect fast results, trust time, and my favorite expression that I say all the time, you cannot make a river run faster. So let's pull a card just to see what Spirit might also be saying. Sorry, this one is going a little bit long, a little chatty this evening. So let's grab a card and see what Spirit wants to add to this, if anything. We're going to, let me just shuffle real quick. We're going to do three passes. All right, 3 passes. Anything that Spirit wants to add to the reading. Nothing comes out. Stones stand on their own. So pass 1. Pass 2. And pass 3. Okay, nothing came out, so the reading stands on its own. And there you have it. So, just to sum up, we all want the world to be a better place. And we do that through rational discussion, through honest and earnest discord, right? Oh, discourse. Discourse. Sorry, I'm tired, and I just looked at the Discord icon on my machine. Discourse. Honest and earnest discourse. We accept people for what they bring to the table. We don't act impulsively or with irrational emotion. We recognize the gifts that we have, that we bring to the table. We recognize the gifts in others, and we allow a free exchange of ideas and passions and talents. And we keep doing this cycle, and this cycle of good. You have an idea, you test it out. Sometimes it fails. Everybody's all a Twitter on Twitter and all a buzz about SpaceX launch today, and it failed, 4 minutes up. The only way that they're going to figure out how to get to Mars is by having some failing rockets, right? Like you have to test them, and the only way to test it is to test it, and it's either going to work or it's not. So they're going to learn a lot from today's failure and make it better. Better for it to crash here than like out there where you can't figure out what the hell happened to it. So there weren't any humans on board. There wasn't. They weren't going to be recovering any of the equipment anyway. It was going to go out to sea when it came back anyway, after it got done circling the world. So, you have to have those failures, because those failures, I mean, think about how many airplanes must have crashed before they put people on them and flew them across the Atlantic, right? Like it happens. You have to test things. We think it's like a big waste when something like that goes, and it feels like a waste, but it's like so critical to have those failures, and to learn from them so that you can make something better. Build, break, and defend. Like that's the only way that it goes. I teach that when I teach coding. I teach that even in literature. Write, tear it apart, fix it up, make it better. Like everything can be made better, but you only get better if you have some failures under your belt. So it's okay. And that's the cycle that we go through. So embrace the cycle, embrace your gifts, embrace humanity, and be just, fair, and don't go nutso banana pants with overcharged emotion. That's today's message. I'm wishing you all the very best in light and love. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.